Hello, and welcome to the Days Week is Packed. My name is Harry, and this is Ollie.
Hey guys.
And today we are going to rewrite the history of that culinary classic, the hamburger.
What started as a simple adventure trying to build the perfect burger has turned into an absolutely huge project. The more research we've done on this, the deeper down the rabbit hole we've gone. In fact, we've been compiling data on the true origins of the hamburger for almost a year.
And we've opened up a real can of worms and uncovered references that have been completely missed by authors and food historians.
This entire adventure came about because we were really frustrated that there wasn't a single place in Aberdeen where we felt like we could get a really good burger. We thought, let's just make our own. We didn't realise how much work that would turn out to be though.
So we're going to split this adventure into 3 parts. In the first part, we're going to make some major revisions to the history of the hamburger. In the second, we will explore some historical recipes in the kitchen. And then finally, with our newfound knowledge, we're going to create the perfect burger, the benchmark by which all other burgers should be measured. The burger is true Americana, as American as apple pie. This humble dish boasts a rich and colourful history embedded in...
1391.
What?
Apple pie, the first recorded recipes in England in 1391.
Really? Okay. As American as fried chicken.
Scotland.
What?
Skye, 1773.
Okay, fine. As American as a grilled cheese sandwich.
Actually, the Romans used
Enough
to...
already! However, we have found there are many false claims and incorrect assumptions about the early history of the dish. Now, brace yourselves. Some of our findings will ruffle a few culinary feathers.
But we've now collated the most exciting information and condensed it into the following adventure.
Fun fact, did you know that an American Arctic expedition made hamburgers out of polar bear on Svalbard in 1984?
Or you know that there was a restaurant selling hamburger sandwiches in Manila in the Philippines in 1898, 70 years before McDonald's first restaurant opened outside of North America.
So we're going to summarise our biggest discoveries into the 5 key undeniable facts. We hope you all join us on this culinary adventure through the ages.
But first, we need to go somewhere a bit more appropriate to discuss our research. Welcome to Craigston Castle!
Hello, welcome to Craigston Castle. Now this awesome castle was actually built in 1607, and if you remember correctly, we did our ghost busting adventure here quite a few years ago. But what does this have to do with burgers?
So we're here to research the true history of the burger and where it really came from. Our good friend William is granted a special access to the castle's library, which spans back up to 4 centuries.
So let's go inside. We spent several months picking through online articles, books, and trawling through American, British, and German newspaper archives. Thank you for all the help from our German friends. Modern day archives have made doing our research so much easier. This is Hamburg steak sandwiches from 1894, so we're getting closer.
We're going to complete our research with a search for some historical cookbooks from the 17th, 18th and 19th centuries, and we're really hoping to find some early references to dishes similar to the burger stored in this fantastic library.
We've learned there's lots of plagiarism in early cookbooks, as some of them repeat the same recipe multiple times.
One thing that we have learned about the internet firsthand is that it's a dangerous place to do proper research. There's a lot of misinformation and dodgy articles.
Despite these difficulties, we've managed to find an absolute ton of useful information.
Here are 5 uncomfortable truths that we've learned about the hamburger.
Uncomfortable truth. 1.
Every current claim regarding the historical timeline of the hamburger is actually incorrect.
Our research shows that the timeline of the burger can be completely rewritten. The majority of claims of invention should be discounted due to lack of evidence. What can be stated without reference can be dismissed.
Now, we are not going to argue that the modern hamburger, as we know it, has firm roots in the late 19th century America. Street food from food carts gained immense popularity in the late 19th century, especially in the state fairs and exhibitions. Early versions of burgers likely appeared at these events, although only anecdotal evidence supported this. In the 1870s, hamburger steak first appeared in print. By the 1880s, hamburger steaks were served with bread were mentioned in America. In the late 1890s, hamburger sandwiches started making appearances, and the burger as we know it today appeared in 1921.
After some in-depth research, we have uncovered much earlier references to the ones commonly cited. Since 1890, the hamburger sandwich has been recommended food for children or convalescents in numerous books or journals. The earliest we can find is the Narragansett Herald. It describes a hamburger sandwich as minced beef, lightly cooked and served between 2 slices of bread. This is 4 years earlier than the current earliest record.
The original White Castle slider, officially recorded in 1921, is often credited as the first official burger. However, we've discovered an earlier reference that predates White Castle's claim by a whole decade.
In 1910, an article in the Montgomery Advertiser mentioned a street vendor at Coney Island. The vendor was selling a hamburger, steak, and a roll for a nickel. While it's unlikely to be the first official burger, it stands as the oldest verifiable US record of a burger served in a bun.
Uncomfortable truth. 2.
Most people technically have never eaten a hamburger.
There are numerous records of Hamburg regarding beef in both UK and US cookbooks and newspapers between 1750 and 1850, but none of these refer to a cooked round beef dish served in bread.
The name Hamburg has long been associated with beef. Over centuries, it symbolized 3 key factors. Quality. Holstein cattle were exported from Hamburg from the 15th to 19th century. They were prized in international markets like London. Preservation. Hamburg-style preservation techniques included salting, smoking, and drying. Cooking. 18th century cookbooks contain references to beef and other meats cooked in the Hamburg way. This method involves smoking and roasting. The earliest record dates back to 1758, is Hannah Glass's mention of Hamburg sausage on toast. Based on our research, to qualify as a true hamburger, it must meet specific criteria. Must be from Holstein cattle, must be made from cured or roasted or salted beef. The burger must be roasted. So if this is correct, it leads to one startling conclusion, that most people have never eaten a hamburger.
Uncomfortable truth. 3.
There's actually no Hamburg in hamburger.
It's a common belief. The name hamburger is linked to German immigrants who brought the dish to America. Some theorists suggest it was named after a port they departed from, or the Hamburg America line. However, these claims lack verifiable sources and may be guesswork.
In Germany, minced beef patties seasoned and fried are known as frikadellen. If the dish was a variation of this traditional German food, immigrants would likely use the same name. If we moved to the US and were missing the taste of haggis, we wouldn't recreate a haggis, then rename it after Heathrow Airport. We would call it a haggis. Interestingly, 3 of the most well-respected recipe books of the time, the Boston Cookbook, the Waldorf Cookbook, and the Epicurean, are all written by professional cooks, chefs, or hoteliers. All 4 Hamburg beef dishes presented are high-quality pounded round beef steak, breadcrumb-like rissoles, or presented as a tartare, with only a passing mention to cooking minced beef. In fact, Miss Lincoln's Boston cookbook treats minced fried beef patties as an entirely separate dish, broiled meat cakes.
So whoever began calling the dish hamburger steak, probably sometime in the early 1870s, was either associating their dish with the famous quality of Hamburg beef, or an association with these fancier beefsteak dishes. Either way, the use of the word Hamburg or hamburger has no justifiable or logical link to the city of Hamburg.
Uncomfortable truth. 4.
It's a sandwich.
Key components of a proto-burger are ground seasoned beef served in bread. But let's just address the elephant-shaped hamburger patty in the room. It's a sandwich.
Throughout history, scraps of beef heated over fires and eaten with bread likely occurred repeatedly. Fried meat patties were popular in ancient Rome, but we don't have any records of it being served with bread. Documented evidence of bread and meat dishes come later. During the medieval period, 500 to 1500 CE, trenchers, flatbread plates, were common. Scraps of meat were often left with the soaked-in juices and sauces of the meal. These were often given to peasants and servants to eat.
In the 13th century, early sandwich-style dishes emerged, like barmakia, chopped cooked birds between flatbreads.
In 1673, an English naturalist observed beef hung in Dutch taverns, sliced thin and eaten with bread and butter.
The term sandwich was officially recorded in 1762. The well-known story of Earl of Sandwich requesting meat between 2 pieces of bread likely involved cured Hamburg beef, a favourite of the Earl.
We have found a number of references to sandwiches in the early 19th century cookbooks extolling the use of forcemeats or meat patties on sandwiches. These all predate the first burger by half a century.
It's surely more rational that the hamburger evolved from similar earlier meat and bread dishes. However, there are very few references to meat-based sandwiches in early American cookbooks. For that, we need to look a little closer to home.
Uncomfortable truth. Number 5.
The hamburger is not an American invention.
So there are currently no evidence linking hamburgers to Hamburg through immigration, and searching German archives, there seems to be no comparable dish from that period. So did the Americans invent it? Well, as long as there are no recipes prior to 1890 from elsewhere, then yes, that would be true.
But we have cast our research net a little further afield. We think we have the answer. Clues lie within early British cookery books.
So what are the essential components for a burger? What does the recipe need to have to qualify? We have beef, minced, chopped or hashed. It needs to be seasoned and fried. Must be served in bread, accompanied by toppings. So any recipe we find that matches this description technically could be the earliest version of the hamburger. Then, using our very own patent-pending, comprehensive burger scoring assessment, we have graded them, with the score of 100 representing the perfect burger.
To be unbiased, we have based the perfect score on the White Castle cider from 1921, which is generally, until today, considered the first official burger.
We have done this on 20 proto-burger recipes that predate 1890 Hamburg sandwich date, with any recipes attaining a score higher than 80 points being carried forward.
Here are our top 5 recipes in date order. 1759, loaf of beef collops. 1829, patties and fried bread. 1845, forced roll. 1862, corner dish of minced meat. 1872, hot sandwich. Now let's go make them. Join us in part 2 where we will explore the 5 recipes that we believe could shed the light on the true origins of the burger.
So in part 1 of this video, we explored the origins of the burger and did a deep dive into archives and early cookery books. What we found completely changed the current history of the burger as we know it, and showed that our research has uncovered an entirely different timeline for the burger based off references and facts.
In part 2 of this video, we're going to explore some historical cooking in the 400-year-old kitchen at Craigston Castle, where we're going to attempt to recreate the 5 historical recipes for early style burgers that we feel are most like the modern day burger. We hope you'll join us on this epic culinary adventure. So we're down in the kitchen, which was built in 1607, and this is the kitchen fireplace here, and this is also been used for over 400 years.
And here we have the 5 recipes that we have chosen that we think could be the original hamburger. So the first one we have is a loaf of beef collops from 1759. We have patties and fried bread from 1829, a forced roll from 1845, a corner dish from 1862, and a hot sandwich from 1872. So for the first one, the loaf of beef collops, we're probably going to use this bread because it needs a French half baguette.
What next?
And then for the next one, the patties and fried bread, we need a loaf end, so we'll probably use this one. For the forced roll, we need a rasped French roll, so yeah, we should use that one.
Little guys.
For the corner dish, we need a small dinner roll, so I think we should use one of those small rolls there. And then for the the hot sandwich, we need just a loaf, so I think we either use some of this one or this. So for the first recipe, we need onion, parsley, pepper and salt. We need mushrooms, lemon. I could grab the nutmeg.
That's 10 years, and Ollie has only ever managed to hurt himself once. I've never done that in all of our adventures, all because of this knife, because it's so blunt. It just slipped on the onion and slit my fingers. So yeah, we are very annoyed, because that's 10 years we've gone with one injury. I'm a moron.
What did you do?
I cut myself.
What are you?
I don't know, chef.
What are
An
you?
idiot sandwich. we are here doing all 5 recipes at once, which is a bit of a hassle. Got our coolie going here, but yeah, we're getting there.
Sometimes we do make things difficult for ourselves. We did think that cooking everything at the same time would be more efficient and quicker, but it's a lot harder for our minuscule brains to process.
Yeah, trying to cook 5 recipes simultaneously wasn't the smartest move. That's not good. That was a marathon, but we've done it. We have managed to cook all 5 of them, and we're just going to give them a try.
So the first one we have is the loaf of beef collops from 1759.
Thick. Not easy to cut. Not there. Here.
That's what it looks like.
Very saucy. Surprisingly good.
It tastes quite good, but it doesn't really feel or taste like a burger.
Yeah. Like, the taste is good, but it's not a burgery taste.
So next up we have the patties in fried bread from 1829. Actually,
this one might fall apart a bit. Pretty good.
it looks good.
Tastes amazing.
It's
Just
definitely closer to a burger than that one was, but it's still not there.
It's just a bit too greasy because of the fried bread.
So next up we have the forced roll from 1845.
This one does seem a bit soggy.
But it's the first one used with an actual roll, and the reason it's soggy is we've covered it in milk.
This is probably the closest to a burger yet. Tastes like a burger. It's really good.
It's much closer to a burger. It's a little soggier than we would like, but it's much closer than any of the others have been.
So far, 3rd, 2nd, 1st. So, in the order.
Next up we have a corner dish from 1862.
That's very close to a burger.
So
Like,
it's
really close.
basically meat between 2 buns, so it's really close to a burger already. And it tastes just like a burger.
Bread isn't soggy. It's literally just a burger. That's the best one yet.
And then we have a hot sandwich from 1872. Can I just cut that one?
Really crispy. Seems like it might be a bit soggy because it's fried bread. But no.
It feels less like a burger, more than just like a sandwich, so I'll probably put that one in 4.
It's probably, that's my least favourite so far. Very, very soggy. Yeah, so I'd probably say that first, that second, that third, that fourth,
I'll put that
then
4th.
fifth.
First, I think that'd be 4th and that'd be 5th, but otherwise I agree.
Yeah, very good, surprisingly. Oh, yeah.
So that's our ratings. So the first roll, or no, the corner dish is the closest to a burger out of the 5 of them.
Then probably this, but just because it's an actual roll. Then this because it's a nice patty and it's got it's covered with the
It
bread.
feels like a burger.
This not so much, it's just bread. It's not really a burger. And then this is almost there because it's kind of sealed, but then you drown it in the sauce. So they all have different similarities to a burger, but yeah, all pretty good.
Different similarities.
Yeah.
Amazing grammar.
Shut up. Shut up. But yeah, very good. So, we've been devouring all of these.
And we've had a change of heart.
So this, although it's not properly in a roll like a burger, we're going to put it tied with the other one. But just because of the taste, it just tastes a lot more like a burger than that does. Tastes like a burger, feels like a burger.
So now drawn for first are the corner dish and patties and fried bread.
Bye.
Bye. So, there we have it. Loaf of beef collops is definitely the transitional stage from ground meats and gravy to today's hamburger.
Yes, and the two dishes that stand out to us the most like a burger are the corner dish of mincemeat from 1862, and the recipe that felt and tasted more like a hamburger was actually the patties and fried bread recipe from 1829.
All the recipes that we looked at were from the UK, from earlier British cookbooks, but 2 of the dishes that we feel are most like modern day hamburgers both came from Scotland.
Now there's been no jiggery-pokery here. This is the absolute result of our cooking experiment.
Yes, it's a happy coincidence, but we're confident in the facts that we presented and the logic behind the recipe choices. This leads us to a stunning revelation. The burger's origin is firmly rooted in late 18th and early 19th century Scottish cookery.
Join us in part 3, where with our newfound knowledge, we finally get to strip the burger down to its component parts and rebuild it from the ground beef up. Our goal is to make the perfect burger. Welcome to part 3. In this video, we are going to rebuild the burger from the ground beef up. With our newfound knowledge about the true history of the burger and its Scottish origins, we're going to strip every component back and reassess what is important or relevant about it.
Yes, America, you've held the baton for 130 years. It's time to give it back to Scotland.
Now, in the last 130 years, we really have mastered which components are needed to make a great burger. The bun, the cheese, how to cook the meat, onions, and the condiments.
But we want to create the perfect burger, the foundation on which all burgers from this moment on will be judged, the perfect 10.
Every single component has been assessed, fixed, tweaked, and judged. No single component is out of kilter with anything else. Everything complements the burger. It will be perfect.
All the ingredients have been used in burger-style dishes for well over 70 years. And we've also tried to incorporate some of the best parts of the original proto-burgers that scored highly in part 2 of this adventure.
Time for some more research.
The first thing we needed to do was to go out and check the competition. It's time for a taste test.
taste to them. It doesn't really taste of much, like I'm not getting much flavour off of the pasta. Really good.
That's me.
Really good. Definitely one of the best, if not the best so far.
Today we are at X Burger and Andy is going to show us how to make the perfect burger.
Closing the grill. And you hold up high so the salt sprinkles over top. If you do it too close, the salt will be too much, the meat will dry out. Because pepper is dusty and goes like a cloud, so you want to be a bit closer. This is just called a burger smasher. Yeah. And then rotate to get a circle.
Okay.
You want to give the burgers about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes on both sides. Alright, you only flip it once, and you wait until the edges begin to curl up. If you're cooking on a grill, if you have to force it to come up, it's not ready yet. When meat's on the grill and it's ready, it comes off easily. That's what you want. That's all? Yeah, for sure. So melt the cheese a bit faster. You've got a bottle of water and you steam it up. Not too much, because the grill will cool down. And then you candy. You just pour the washes and put them over top.
Mabel.
Smells like burger food.
Chicken, lettuce, mayo.
Yeah. Another 9.5 item.
Chicken high ratings.
That's my go-to burger.
Just burger. It's gonna be not as heavy.
Or something. Oh. We'll put loose on that then.
With that.
Oh, no, that's bad. You try the mayo. 5. And that. 8. 10.
So, we've tried a lot of burgers this year, and we've learned an awful lot of really useful information about what it takes to make the perfect burger. We have literally broken down and worked on every single one of the following components: cooking styles, cuts of beef, fat content, buns and bread, serving options for onions, lettuce, tomatoes and pickles, use of condiments and cheeses.
But before we make you the perfect burger, we would like to share some of the secrets and tricks that we have learned over the last year that will really help improve the quality of your burger and turn it from a good burger into a perfect burger. Here's some really important do's and don'ts. These are non-negotiable.
Here are the do's. It has to have a good meat to bun ratio. The burger has to fit in your mouth. You need to layer the burger to help it avoid falling apart, and you need to reduce the cold elements in the burger.
Here are the don'ts. No ketchup, it's too vinegary and sweet, so it clashes with the beef. Save it for hot dogs. No brioche buns, they're just too sweet. Pickles are too divisive. Keep the pickles on the side so that the people that love pickles can still get the pleasure, but without destroying the flavour profile of the burger. And don't use expensive ingredients. It's not a gourmet experience, it's comfort food.
So we are going to build you our perfect burger. Now that we know that the burger was originally a Scottish dish, we've readdressed what ingredients are used and why. These are our ingredients. Mayo and Dijon mustard. Our lettuce consists of romaine lettuce, watercress, and forage wood sorrel. Raw red onion for crunch. Beefsteak tomatoes. These are the best options when it comes to tomatoes as they're less wet, and then we'll get rid of the remaining moisture with sea salt.
The chilies are just to provide a tiny bit of heat and to open up the taste buds in your mouth so that everything tastes better.
Smoked Aberdeen Angus beef. We are using plate, which is a cut that works great when ground. We will add coriander, paprika, and nutmeg to season the beef. This is a very traditional way of seasoning ground beef dishes, such as Lorne sausage since the 1860s.
We're using 3 cheeses, a mild Scottish cheddar, then on the other we use an amazing Scottish cheese called Rocknagar, which has a delicious tangy taste.
Cooked buttered white onion that will be caramelised.
Finally we add a little Scottish ingredient, a cheese from the 15th century. This really old kebab cheese is almost like butter, and then it gives the burger an amazing buttery flavour.
Our new burger rolls have a long history in Scotland and have been around since the 17th century. They will be toasted and buttered. We call these soft floury puffs of heaven a morning roll.
Amazing. That is the perfect burger.
Every topping has to add to the experience. Flavours must not mask the taste of the beef burger, but enhance it. It's important that it captures some components of where it originated. It must have some historical context.
So this is it. We have made the perfect burger. It's quite long.
Got absolutely everything in it.
So we're going to give it a try. Ready?
Yep. That's amazing.
So good. This flavour combination is great. Crunchiness and salad. You get one flavour, for a couple seconds later you get another. Spice, and you get the onion and the cheese. It's amazing.
I have nothing to add to that, exactly what he said.
Score, boys.
10.
9.5. Really close.
Well, let's see if you guys can beat it. Bye.
Bye.
So we forgot to add one of the cheeses when we were making the burgers, so we're gonna add it now.
This is Kabak and it's from the 15th century.
It's
And
basically like butter.
Yeah.
It makes it so much better.
And it just melts so easily.
Bye.
That's a massive burger, but it's really good. That's really cool. That makes it 10. Bye.
We hope you'll give our burger a try, and we're happy to throw down the gauntlet to anyone that thinks they can make a better burger than this.
We love doing this adventure, sharing this new knowledge with you, and we hope that you will join us celebrating this. The most amazing Scottish dish, the burger. Until next time.